Son, you are my shining star. I'm so proud of you. I just wish your brother were here to see all of this.
I knew it was too good to be true. The idea that Cameron Kimbrough would honestly try to get his life together.
Those two boys are as different as they can be.
Don't think you'll get any kind of special treatment over here because of your brother. You're my brother. I'm here to support you. I forgot to tell you, Caleb stayed with us for a while.
Material things don't take the place of your attention.
No, marriage.
Why are you? It's not the best way to start this off. What happened? Oh, this gonna be.
Sorry. When she said that line, I she really thought she was selling it too. You know,
I thought she was. She was saying, "Hey, look, you know, she doesn't want you to buy her a nice watch. She wants the time."
Yep, you're right. You're right. We are back with another Tubi movie, Fatal Lust. I have to say before we go any further, Dad Panther, I have a growing, I have respect for you here. It's going up. Because for you to, like, without being urged to watch these movies, you watch stuff like this.
Listen, I enjoy Westerns. I enjoy sci-fi action, and, rom-coms are one of my favorites. But the thing, my guilty pleasure, I enjoy watching indie films. Tubi has grown to me where I watch Tubi more than I watch other stuff. And I also watch stuff from India. So I'm big on watching it, and I enjoy it. It's I don't have to worry about anything other than the story and what the director is trying to put together.
Let's just say, look, I'm glad that I keep my gun under lock and key in a separate room, because there are just moments when I just want to end it. You know what I mean?
Your last words on social media, Tubi.
Tubi. But initial impressions. Wait a minute. Did you suggest this film or did Eddie? Who suggested this?
I did.
Okay. So before
a majority of the Tubi movies that we're doing, it's me. I've got a list. I'm not even done. I'll keep trickling them out.
Okay, so so you saw this film just scrolling through the Tubi catalog. What was your initial impression just looking at? I don't know. Did you see the trailer or you just saw the poster and was like, let's give this a try?
I don't do trailers. I just do the poster. I happen to see the name. I think let me see. Nina Stakz, if I'm saying it correctly. She had a movie called New Year, New Us. 1 and 2, which were really good. I enjoyed those. So I was like, you know what? Sign me up. And there you go.
All right. So when you guys dropped it in a group chat, I looked up the trailer and I watched the trailer and I was like, okay, this seems to be an interesting story. I'm in, let me go roll it. And then I think you guys were saying a few things in the group chat that was kind of like, okay, this seems like this seems to be a little different. It seems like the story is a little bit more well-defined than the previous one that we reviewed, and this seemed to have like a little bit more of a serious and sexy tone. Like, this gives me the vibe of the late 80s, early 90s films that we used to watch. Called I did a whole real review about it called Sex and Psychos, where it was just a bunch of movies in the 90s where there was mad sex scenes. And it was about like one of the partners in the sex is just a crazy motherfucker doing some wild shit, but they lure somebody in using sex, and it's just like a murder mystery, all murder mysteries and some other weird stuff going on, and there's lots of sex. So I was looking for murder, I was looking for lots of sex scenes, and I was looking for, what else was I looking for? Like a murky story. So that was my initial impressions. So Dad Panther, please give me your highs and lows.
All right. So for this movie, let me check my notes. The movie was too long. I think it's an issue with the editing or maybe the direction as far as what the writer was going with. And the writer and the director are the same people in this movie. But I felt like it was too long. I think if it was shortened, it would be more impactful, would have a better rhythm. The other part was the crime. It's just when you look at movies like this, you don't have someone necessarily on set that tells you, you know, this is how you would hold a gun, or this is how you would do this. But with the storyline being so heavily rooted and in the main character being on the legal side, to have all the follies of the legal system, like, not gonna spoil anything, but there's certain things where you're like, there's a camera there, there's a witness there, there's you if anyone should know how to do something, it would be you, because you're a lawyer, the good and the bad. The great things that I liked about this movie was I loved the sound. I thought the sound was good, the music that came in and out. I thought the levels were good. I thought it had a great shot. Like, the shots were really good, whether the shots of the city, shots on different scenes. I thought they did a really good job of using, whether it was the bar, the workplace, the home, the detail of going to a hotel and being in that hotel and saying, hey, look, just to show that it was different. The look at the actor on their phone and having the conversation, and I'll be home soon, and without like getting riled up and getting caught into this love triangle, it was like, okay, well, how can I create that tension of will they find out kind of thing? And they were able to do it in a way that didn't feel very low budget. It felt well thought. The other thing I would say was the action, the passion is what I would like to call it. There was scenes that were so steamy, and just, it kind of got you in that right mind of where you could be like Tubi and chill. And the other icing on the cake that I would say is the story. I thought the story at the root was a really good story, a clean story, and something that kind of had its own spin on something that was already done.
Word. Was there a movie that did that? I can't remember. Well, this is how I feel about it. This film shot well. The B-roll, I have to co-sign, the B-roll is fire. The music was fire. Like you said, the background music, the transitions, like even like the full songs from different artists, I thought that was fire. I love the fact that all of the costuming worked well with what the purpose of it. If you're going to be a lawyer, they look like lawyers. You know, I like that. I love the fact that, you know, the people that's in the street look like street people. Like, there was a differentiation between, you know, because of the costumes, who these people are and what they do. I felt like their usage of locations, really well done. I also agree it was shot very well. I will definitely agree that man, the acting may not have been the best, but I definitely felt like everybody had a unique character. Now, one of the things I was wondering is, were there two guys, or was it one guy playing both parts? Dad Panther.
It's actually two guys. It's not
Thank
which I was like, man, if it was one person, especially there's a scene. Yeah, I mean, but especially the scene where they're both sitting at the dinner table and the camera is lined up, and there were some really good shots with this. And I'm like, man, I know they're two people, but if they weren't two people, this was shot so
yeah, that I would have given them definitely way more points if it was one guy playing two parts, even though there are some differentiating features that are very small, but they're very small and minute. I felt like, let's see what else good, because I really want to stack in with the good, man. I really wanted to, like, there were some things that I was definitely like, wow, this is impressive. Like, you know, there weren't as many things that took me out of the film. You know, a lot of things I've definitely stayed in, definitely suspension of disbelief. I'm like feeling like this is really happening. This is a real thing, which is important when you're watching a film. I feel like the young lady that was the co-star, I did not like how she was written, and I did not like how she was played. The reason why I didn't like how she was written is because it's not justifiable. Like, if you're going to have a character be a certain way, personality wise, you really kind of need to give reasoning for it. And the reasoning that they kept putting forth was the reason for the way the character acted, the way they acted was thin, super thin. You know what I mean? And even though you kind of need that for these kind of, simple storylines, or you don't need it. I just felt like I would have enjoyed the film a lot more if there was a more meaningful purpose for the character being the way they were. Number one. Number two, the acting was cool, but there were so many times like when I laughed when we came out of the trailer. It was like she had some lines but couldn't sell them all of the time. Or like I felt like the best thing she could do was like her facial expressions, her physical body language. She was really great at that, but like the dialogue delivery wasn't always in pocket. I felt like they didn't get enough time to really, some scenes they really needed time to just do it again. Like, I feel like they should have spent more time allowing them to practice the lines, allowing them to go back and forth and feel each other out and make it more human. There were so many times where I'm hearing her spit dialogue and I'm like, wow, why does it feel like you're reading the dialogue? The same way with the other two guys, but I feel like the thing that kind of helped them is the fact that they had a deep voice and they had accents. So it's like, and I know some dudes that actually talk like that, and it'll me sound like, why are you sounding kind of robotic? But that's just a part of the culture or whatever. So they can kind of get away with it. Everybody else kind of like did a cool job, man. I like, there was nobody that was super over the top. There wasn't the norm. There wasn't a lot of the normal Tubi stuff that I really was just like, oh my God. And I'm saying let me say independent film and not Tubi, because I ain't trying to take Tubi out of the game. But all in all, I actually was impressed with this film. I would actually watch this film again. And like, it's funny that he said Tubi and chill. I was like, this is the perfect film for like a date. You know what I'm saying? You got a girl over and you're like, yo, you want to watch some indie, something completely different. I feel like this film has some steamy scenes. It's got something to where you'll talk to the screen. And it's got enough boring lulls and wasted time where you could just get a quickie in, you know what I'm saying? And then come back and still, the film will still make sense. You're not going to be like lost. So, with that being said, I want to throw a question at you, Dad Panther, because I'm really trying to see from your perspective, what is it that attracts you to this type of content? Like when you see this, what is making you go, I love this, even to the point where I gotta recommend it to the team? What was it? What was the particular elements of this particular film that really drew you into recommending it to us?
I just feel like us as movie watchers, television show watchers, whatever, we're fucking bougie for no fucking reason. Like we're forgetting the fact that we're 80s babies, some of us, and we went to Blockbuster and we found that movie that we had no clue what was going on. It was a horror movie or a love interest, and we knew it was fake. We could see the strings in the background, but we just loved them. The atmosphere they created, and it was ours. It was like almost like a secret. So you had to tell someone, hey, check this movie out. Check out this. And so for me, I was like, to be able to get that feeling where I don't have to get talked to about this is the number one on this streaming service, to just watch a movie and just like, sometimes they're messy, the indie movies. And I'm like, not messy in like a production way, just so much drama, the same drama that you'll see on social media. And you don't get that because it's kind of cleaned up unrealistically. This for this movie right here, for this woman to be in a dilemma where a lot of women would say, I would love to be in her shoes, and a lot of them will be in that person's shoes and still be this messy. And you're like, I know somebody who does that. I know I could see it. And then you'll see on the streaming service, they won't do that. It's not messy. It's simple and it's clean and it's cut. So I like it. It's raw and it's uncut, and I'm here for it.
I love the fact that you bringing up like old 80s films, and because that was like one of my favorite times in cinematic history, because I tell people all of the time, my favorite movies were like Van Damme movies. You know what I'm saying? I love those, I love those indie B films or C films where the thing is that as a kid, it's not even about the acting. It's really about the messaging. It's really about the action. It's about it being fun. And like, that's the thing that I hate the fact that I'm rating these indie films. Like, I'm not trying to rate them against the Avengers, but what I am rating them against, or the thing that frustrates me is that, bro, you got a platform, say something. Like, you know what I mean? And I feel like the thing that depresses me is, like, I'll watch these films and I'm like, wow, this, you have a message here. You could really be saying, or I can see that a message could be placed in this if you tried, you know, and you're not doing it. Or, like, I can see that somebody's making a film because they just want to say they made a film, you know, and they want to be like, I'm a director, and, like, you know, all these people are just here because they want to say they want to be actors. Like, I don't feel like they're taking the craft seriously, that I'm really trying to make something and say something. So, like, that's my frustration. But with this particular film, I felt like there was more of a story, there was more of a structure. But it's like, all right, am I supposed to take away from this film what? Like, is, you know what I mean? Like, and I, you know, and I just want everybody to watch it for themselves. And if you see something different, yo, tell me in the comments, like, what did you get out of the film? What was really the, you know, the cornerstone of what made this dope for you? But like I said, I would still watch this again. It definitely has entertainment quality to it. The ending, you have to watch it for the ending. If you don't see the ending, you know, you got to see the ending on this. This is worth you going through it and seeing the ending, because it's wild. It's disrespectful, but it's wild. I felt disrespected. I was like, did you just take me through this for this? But it's wild. So that's my ending recommendation. We're going to go to the review. We are going to do a new review system. I don't have it yet. So let's just go with ye old faithful. You know what I'm saying? Classic, good watch, catch on streaming, not doing it for me.
Oh, hell no.
Or if you ever show me this ever again, I will. All righty then. So I am adjusting my thing. We are not comparing to Avenger level content. We will review this on the Tubi level. You know what I'm saying? Best Tubi film would be Bloodsport. All right, worst Tubi film would be, I don't know, but that's where I'm rating it at. So where would I compare this to Bloodsport? I'm gonna put this a catch on streaming, man. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's actually kind of cool. I kind of rock with it. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could have seen Shorty completely naked, but cheeks are out. Let's get this. She's looking good. You're gonna get a good peek at some stuff, but it's not all of the peek that you want. But shout out to her, because she definitely looked good in this film. So, Dad Panther, what's your rating?
I just want to say, like, I always try to flip the script with you. What if the dude was naked? Look at that. See, I'm all listen.
It'll be crazy. It'll be crazy. I mean, if they pull full frontal schlong like they do with white movies, I would still watch it. I would be like, ugh.
No, I feel like you would have been like this.
No, do you know how many classic white movies I've seen where salacious dick just pops out and you be like, come on, bro, I didn't need to see that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
But I feel like you give some a pass. Like, you're like, hey, there's no substance. What did I get from this Tubi movie? Which we'll just say indie. Tubi is just a service that has movies, big and small, television show. You can watch the Care Bears on there, you know, from 1980 something. But Yellowstone, I never leave Yellowstone saying I'm gonna move to Wyoming. I'm gonna start farming. I'm gonna start ranching. It's a good story. I sit back and watch. That's what I mean. Like, we got our pinkies up and we're like, we watch these movies and I didn't leave Planet of the Apes saying, you know what? I think I'm gonna let some apes out of the zoo. This shit ain't right. Let's start a revolution. So for this movie, I'm gonna rate it, catch it on streaming. I do think there should be an adjustment when we talk about ratings. when it comes to indie films. I believe that the people that write them, direct them, create these stories, they're passionate about what they do, and the resources they have are limited, and they would love an opportunity for some of these other streaming companies and things that we see. So to see the power of this leading and just destroying all these other larger streaming services, it's kind of a renaissance to the blockbuster videos of the world. So
yeah, and I definitely agree with you. My dad to this day will go on any platform and just press play. If the poster looks cool and the synopsis is pretty decent, he's going to give it a try. And I know I and he's been like that forever. That's the reason why I've seen as many movies as I've seen, is because my dad will just watch shit. So and there are a lot of people that are like that. Like they just want to see different stuff. Like you get tired of seeing the same old. All right, let me go down this rabbit hole and see what comes out. And like I respect it. Me being bougie is not a bad thing. I feel like and when we are reviewing these, like the thing I love about us is that we've never just been like, we don't like it because it sucks. Like we've always been like, okay, these are the things that I see that could make this better. Like I want you to raise the quality. And I've never been like, yo, they need to have a red camera, or, you know, you need to do the circle swing shot and you need to have better guns. It's like, nah, the most things I am always pushing on is, hey, work on the acting, you know, work on the story, you know, work on the purpose of it, you know, and don't be afraid to trim away stuff. Because like you said, they could have trimmed 30 minutes out of this film and it would have made it so much better, because you wouldn't, the pacing would have been so fast that you've been like, the reason why the pacing issue is important is because when you start feeling the time, it gives you that, especially with streaming. You're not in a movie theater. I've got my remote control in my hand. I could easily go, you know what? I'm tired of this. Click. Let's go to something else. Especially now because Tubi's got commercials. I got to suffer through these goddamn commercials. You got to give me some quality, bro. Like, I hate commercials. I pay extra money to not have commercials. That's how much I hate commercials.
I like commercials, man. I got an old soul. Like that gives me time to go get some popcorn, get a snack, go check on the wife, make sure she's good, little one's good, then hop back on the couch and finish it out. So just,
oh my God. I need to give you a hug, bro. Like we gotta.
I'm telling you, it's the new times. Everything is microwave. We want it. Gimme. And I just like, take it slow. Take it slow.